Welcome to a special edition of Crawford County Outdoors. I'm Duane Koller, and you can probably guess by the sign over my shoulder that we're not in Crawford County today. We are in northern Canada, in Moffett, Quebec. Mike Moss from the Woods to Wall Taxidermist suggested a trip to Canada on a bear hunt. So we're really looking forward to that today. I think you're going to enjoy the show, so stay with us. Joining us now is Mike Moss from Woods to Wall Taxidermy. Mike,
right. Good to see you.
Welcome
again.
back.
Good to see you again.
This is great. This
is
is great.
A little different environment this time, but good to be back.
Give us a little history. How'd you get involved?
With the outfitting?
With outfitting, yeah.
Well, I started coming to Quebec. I actually booked on a bear hunt probably 28 years ago. It's been that long. The people that I came and went to camp with, I fell in love with them and just would become dear friends. They eventually sold their camp. It was not this particular camp, so they turned me on to friends of theirs that had a camp. So I started going with them and become great friends with him. I'd come hunting up here. He comes down and hunts with me for bow, with the deer and stuff in the States, and it changed hands again. And the new owners, Steve and Nancy Charbonneau, they own the camp today and run it. And again, I become great friends with them, and I throughout the years of coming and hunting, I started doing all the booking for them in the U.S. They do some shows and stuff in Ottawa and close to home, but they really just don't have the means or the outreach other than web page. But there's a million websites for bear hunts, so I go to the shows in the U.S. and try and get them some clients. So it's worked out pretty good. So
Moffett, Quebec, was it maybe 6 or 7 hours north of Toronto? Pretty much straight north on the map, and then a little bit east.
On a good day, 7. Okay. Yeah, on a good day, 7. Toronto can dictate how long it takes to get here, but I'm from Linesville. You're from Meadville area, Crawford County. It's basically 10 to 12 hours, and Toronto dictates how long it takes to get here. But we're a drive-in facility. You drive right up to the front door. There's no planes or boats that's got to take you to the camps. You drive right in, and it's all good roads all the way here. So
now, I noticed when the stars were out, the North Star, normally from home it's about there. Here it's like,
yeah, you're looking straight up at it pretty much. Yeah,
you're definitely in a different spot here.
You are. You're north. Yep.
Now, also, and talking to some of the guys around, they hear wolves, they've seen moose. I haven't seen either a wolf or a moose yet, but the other things you aren't going to see around Crawford County.
We haven't seen any moose this trip myself either. We have got some tracks, and in fact, we took some pictures of them. No, we didn't get see any wolves or get any wolves on film, but moose, I mean, you haven't seen any, but everybody else in camp has seen a ton of moose. This year, I've seen more moose than 28 years.
A different season, might a moose hunt be something you could do?
A moose hunt, yes. They do limited numbers on the moose hunters. It's a family-owned operation. There's just the 2 of them, but they will take on a few moose hunters in the fall, yeah, for both archery and rifle.
Well, talk for a second about the bear hunting. What do I need to do to get ready? What kind of gear do I have to have? What sort of other preparations do I need to make?
Right. Well, there's not a lot of gear, and there's not a great expense for the bear hunt, but there are some essential items that you're going to want to have. Everybody's heard of Canada. Everybody's heard of Alaska. It's you go on a hunt, and especially a spring bear hunt, the bugs are bad. You can't lie about the bugs. Everybody that's been here will tell you mosquitoes are horrible, and the black flies are even worse. So you have to prepare for that, and it's up to the hunter to prepare. We got a few items here that we can show you, things that these are the necessary items. It's a hunt of a lifetime. It's a memory you want to cherish, and the memory you want to cherish is going to be a good one and not a bad one. So bug nets. All our hunters, we recommend these bug nets, and you can get them anywhere. Walmart sell them, all sporting goods stores sell them. This is just for your head. If you cover the rest of your body, you know, with good tight fitting clothing, you're going to be protected from them, but it's essential.
I'll be able to see through that?
You'll be able to see, but in low light conditions, I will say it gets a little difficult to see if the sun hits it, you know, a certain way. But in the event that, you know, a bear does come in and it presents itself, you can take it off for a moment. I don't think you're going to be thinking about the bugs when that happens. But these are a full body suit, or this one here is a upper torso suit. A lot of our hunters wear these. Again, they're inexpensive. You can pick, you know, this up for about $22. It covers your arms. You can wear a little bit lighter if it's hot. You can wear a little bit lighter clothing. It covers your head as well, and it's got a zipper in the front. You can zip it, and again, in the event that you don't need it, the bugs aren't too bad, you can take the lid off.
Now I see on that one there's like a stretch cord
yeah.
around the cuffs.
These are yeah, every area of your body where you're going to have skin exposed, they're going to get. So these suits are designed to go around, like I said, your upper torso, and this will go around your waist, so you can wear a light shirt, even a t-shirt, and keep them away from you. And it's tight around the wrists as well. It's got, you know, and they all come with it. It's just the zip-up bungee, but it's essential. You have to have it. Another item is your gloves. You know, if you want to wear a light pair of gloves, these here are just a netting glove. It's not a good idea to just wear that. I mean, it's light. The mosquitoes can get through it. They can. And the black flies might not get you through it. It is a good glove for the black flies because it goes higher over the wrist.
And then
so you can bring your
that other sleeve down over top and sense that.
Well, or just leave it like this,
and
that's the best. Pull the glove up over, and then they can't. The black flies nor the mosquitoes can get you, but the mosquitoes can get through these. So one of the things I use, and everybody has access to these, if you know somebody, a doctor or anybody in the medical field, or you can even go to Walmart and purchase them, the rubber surgical gloves. The mosquitoes nor the black flies can bite through that, and they can't smell you through it. So you can wear them under your other garment. And the best thing about these, like in your instance, you're doing a lot of filming and have a camera, is your hands are free. I mean, you put it on,
you still have some dexterity with it.
You do,
like that.
exactly, okay. And you can run that camera and your fingers are clear, and the bugs aren't going to get through it. So I recommend those. You know, everybody has access to them. Get them, use them. I mean, it's going to save you in the bush. The bugs are horrible. One of the don'ts about it, this is a ghillie suit mask. We all wear them for turkey hunting. You are going to die out there in this thing.
It's not going to stop anything.
Nothing. They get up under the net. It doesn't, even if you tuck it, they're going to get up under the net, and they have full access to your face, and the mosquitoes go right through the netting. The ghillie suits are great if you're wearing another garment under them, but I don't recommend the netted ghillie suits up here if you're not going to wear protective clothing under it, because they're going to eat you up.
Now, is bear hunting like I've friends taken me archer hunting before, and you got to be real careful about your scent, and you know, shower with a special soap and all that. The same kind of thing with bear hunting.
Yeah, you have to, but the bears, I want to say, they're going to spook if they smell something that hasn't been there in a while. Here in Canada, you are allowed to bait. We use several means for getting the bear. The spot and stalk hunts, we do the spot and stalk hunts, but typically our season's only spring here. The early grasses are coming out in early May. The bears are just coming out of hibernation. They live their life through their stomach. As soon as they come out of the den, they're going to start feeding. The only things available right now are the grasses in early May. When the season starts. So it does offer us an opportunity. We have some fields, and some grainlands that we can hunt and get to do the spot and stalk hunts. But as the season progresses, they're not in the fields anymore. They're not on the logging roads. So the spot and stalks, I mean, they can't happen. You've been here long enough now. You've seen what this territory's like. In Pennsylvania, we have mountainous area and we have agriculture. But the woods are relatively open, and here, 5 yards through the woods up here is just it's unpenetrable. You cannot get in there. You can't to do a spot and stalk in the woods or say a push like they do in Pennsylvania. They may get a group of guys together and do a push to drive bear into the hunter. You can't have it. It's really, the baiting is the only means to harvest some of these animals. And we know what it's like if we don't harvest them. They're going to overpopulate. It's not good for the people. It's not good for the animals. So baiting does have its purpose. And here, in particular, it really is the only means to control the population. It's the only way to harvest that animal.
And here, like at home in Pennsylvania, there's someone's keeping a close watch on how many bear are taken and how many need to be taken. And so
Yep, exactly. The government dictates how many bears in a certain territory are going to be harvested. The licensing for the outfitters, the government dictates how many licenses that an outfitter is going to get. He may have 50 permits issued to him one year, and if his harvest is down and he's not getting that quota, they will probably take and reduce his licenses and give them to another outfitter in hopes that they can get the quota that they want.
So someone's figured out that we need to get a certain percentage of those licenses out there.
Yep.
We need to get them filled to keep it as the right balance of.
Yep.
Okay.
All harvests are recorded and reported. Just like in Pennsylvania, we have the bear check stations. That's for them to keep their records. They know how many an estimate of how many bears they have, how many they'd like to, maintain and to sustain a sizable population, and through hunting and through the check stations and reporting of those harvests is how they keep those numbers in check. And it's the same here. It's the same everywhere.
Well, that's good information. I interrupted you in the middle of the talk about what gear I need. So what are you holding in your hand there?
We went through the head nets and that. The Thermacell. It's your really modern technology, and it's your best friend. The head nets, everybody that comes should have one. Don't rely only on this. Get the head nets, or the body net, the gloves, everything. Get all the protective gear. It's inexpensive. Purchase a Thermacell. They really are a lifesaver, and they work. They absolutely work, and they don't spook the bear.
Maybe show that for a second. I had purchased one some years ago and never had any reason to use it. Right. And then when you and I talked, I thought, I better bring that along. And I literally never started it before. So yep. There's a butane, right, cartridge that goes in.
It's a very simple item. You pop open your bottom and you have a butane insertion here, and it's just a small tube of butane fuel. Put it in the bottom. You get wicks, and right inside is a wick. You slide that in. And that's what's going to permeate your odor, your scent, or your insect repellent. You have one lever here to turn on and off. Very simple, on and off. And then you have a start button. You push that start button down. On top, you have a lens that you can look through, and you'll see a small flame in there. Hold the button in until that flame stays on. You're done. That's it. You set that underneath you in the stand. They have them with clips. This particular one clips to your belt, your gear, along the side of a tree. Absolutely the best thing ever designed.
And so that just real slowly melts this insert.
Yeah, what it's doing is that wick that's in there, it's heating this insert, and the insert itself is what's the insect repellent is. It's absorbed it, and it's just releasing it into the air. But yes. Yeah, it's a must-have.
Okay. In addition to that, do I want to put some insect repellent spray or ointment or something along?
Some here. You're going to want to bring them. It's essential that you have it. If you're coming for a week or 2 weeks, purchase a couple cans of Off or Repel or something like that for around camp and that. But obviously, you don't want to overload with this and go to the woods, because we go in and bait. The bears become accustomed to a human scent. Obviously, they get accustomed to it, but they do come in very alert, and they want to make sure that human is not there. He's gone, but the smell of a human is not necessarily going to alarm them, because they know that you're coming in there. Your scent's there.
So this thing may not alarm them as much as a lot of
that. This will not alarm them. This is going to alarm them. This is a new smell that they're unfamiliar with, and it's why take that chance? I don't know what a bear smells, but I know that they've walked in front of us and downwind, and we've had it on and we've not had it on. This will spook them. I like to use around my neck, because I hate to wear the head net just because of visibility. I hate to wear it myself. So whether I'm filming or whether I'm hunting myself, they sell this up here, and they sell it. You can also get it at Cabela's and some of the sporting goods stores. It's a unscented insect lotion, and you just squirt some on your hand. You rub it all over your face real good. Get it on the back of your neck and maybe up around your forehead and stuff. I love it. I swear by it. I use it. I whip my head net off and I sit there all night without it. It works great, along with the Thermacell.
Now, you brought a gun case, and I see an orange vest. Do I have to wear orange while I'm hunting?
You do. In Canada, to and from the stand, you don't have to wear it.
While you're hunting.
You do not have to wear it.
But when you're moving in the woods.
When your guide takes you in, you have to wear it to the stand. You can take it off in the stand. Out of the stand, when your guide picks you up, you must have it. It's the law. You have to have it. The same with the gun case. You have to. Not only do you want the gun case because you're going to be in a pickup, you're going to be on a four-wheeler, a side-by-side, or a boat. We use all those those means of transportation to get to and from our baits. You don't want to be throwing your gun around. I recommend the hard shell case because of the boating. If you use the soft shell, it could absorb the water in the boat or whatever. But the hard shell works the best. But you have to have it. It's the law in Canada. You have to take it to your stand and out of your stand in a gun case. It can be a hard shell or a soft shell, but it has to be. Same with the bow. If you bring a bow, you have to have it in a case to and from the stand.
Now, let me ask you a gun question. Is there a particular caliber that's going to be best? Do I need a rifle? Can I go archery?
You can. Everything as far as bow, it can be a crossbow, compound bow, recurve. All bows are legal in Canada. All rifles are legal in Canada, except it can't be a semi-automatic, can't be an assault rifle, but your 30 calibers, all of them are good guns. 308s, 270s, 300s, 7mm, they're all good guns. Whatever you prefer, 30-06. Shotguns with slugs. You're going to be shooting close, so, but preferably, the rifled shotgun slug is the best. You may have a 50, 60, 70-yard shot, so you want the rifled slug, but no handguns in Canada. Absolutely none. They won't let you through customs.
Now, a bear's a big animal. Does it have to be the biggest, heaviest bullet I can get, or is it going to be something that works for deer is going to work too?
The same thing for deer. A well-placed shot on the bear, the same as a deer or a moose or any animal. A well-placed shot is the key. It doesn't have to be a 180-grain bullet or some of the 250-grain slugs. It doesn't have to be that. A well-placed shot, the bear's not going to go far. They are a tough animal. You want to avoid hitting that shoulder on them. Whether with archery equipment, you certainly don't want to hit a shoulder. They're very strong, very big bone structure. With the rifle, anything, you want to avoid that shoulder. Behind it, mid-body, tight to that shoulder. You're going to get the bear.
So that part's kind of similar to a deer. You want to aim behind that deer's front leg and midway up its body. And
very, very true. You're going to get the lungs. You go mid-body. You're going to get the lungs. A little bit different, in the anatomy as far as where the heart placement's at. But if you aim mid-body, be tight to the shoulder, you got him.
Now, if I have the perfect situation, the bear's angling away, it's angling towards me, whatever. What's going to be the perfect shot for me?
Angling towards you is never a good shot. Can be made, but it's never a good shot. We want that. Absolutely. Okay. And if he's quartering away, it's always a good shot. You just aim for the opposite shoulder. Don't aim for the shoulder towards you. Aim for the opposite shoulder. You're going to go through the vitals. It's a good shot. But quartering towards you, it can be taken straight on. It can be taken, but I don't recommend it. It's let that animal come in. He's committed. If he's coming in and he's committed to the site. Wait for that good shot. It'll present itself if you give it time.
Okay, so you want to be careful about your scent. Now you're wearing a Mossy Oak brand. Does the type of camo, the pattern of the camo, any of that kind of stuff?
The terrain you can wear light camo because you have the lighter trees. You can wear the darker camo. We have the darker trees. Just a good quality camo that blends in with the environment. Anything that's out there today is good. All the camos are good and they blend in. You don't want to sit up there and a white T-shirt or any camo is going to work.
So the bear's not necessarily going to see color, but your camo is going to break up your outline in essence.
Right. More so than your camouflage. is sitting still, no movement. They're going to catch your movement, but sound. It's imperative that you're quiet. Sit still. Again, wait till he commits. If he's committed and he starts making noise, then you can do a jig in the stand. He's not going to catch you. But when he's coming in, he's on high alert. There's other bears in the area. It's not just that he's worried about you. It may not be his bait site. If he's a young male and the rut's on, like it is right now, he's concerned about other males, and that's not my bait site. I really want to eat, but I don't want to get my butt whooped doing it. So he's on high alert, and any little things are going to spook him. And if you move or make a noise, any metallic noise, that you clicking that gun back or clicking that safety off, he's going to be gone. Sit there and be quiet. Even in the event you do spook him, sit and be quiet, because if nothing happens, he's going to come back in. He'll filter back in. But yeah, the camouflage isn't as important as just sitting, and it's long. It's a long hunt. I mean, it's not a gimme. These are wild animals. There's no guarantee. I mean, and even with the baiting, people think you bait. Well, I've sat over a lot of cornfields, I'm sure as you have. That's a natural feed. You know, we're not allowed to bait in Pennsylvania, but everybody knows deer are coming to the soybean field, they're coming to the cornfield. If you hunt over them, there's no guarantees with that. That deer pops out, 60 yards away from you, and, the stand you thought was great is, no good. But the bear are the same way. But they will commit, and they'll come in. Let them come in. Don't make any movements. Don't click that safety off when they're walking towards you because they're on high alert. Let them come in, do their thing. They'll present a shot.
Now, for the archery hunters out there, when do you pull? Do you wait till he's looking away before you pull the bow back? To be ready?
Obviously. Again, if he's in there and he's feeding, don't make a loud sound. Don't stand up. Don't move. Don't do any of that. But that would be the time when he presents that shot and maybe has his head down and he's feeding or head away from you. That's the time to draw.
Well, Mike, good tips. Looking forward to getting out there and giving it a try.
Super.
Well, I made it to my tree stand here in Moffett, Quebec. My first ever bear hunt. And I was told several things were important. One, to keep bugs away, you need some sort of mesh netting. So I got a whole jacket that the mesh is attached to, so we'll see how this helps. And secondly, this little device is called Thermacell, and it has a butane insert and little like citronella wafers, and as it releases and a little spark, and there's a little flame inside it, releases kind of melts the citronella wafer as time goes, and lets a little bit of bug repellent kind of go and hopefully keep the bugs away from you here. So we'll see how that works. One other thing that was new for me on this trip, I was told that it was important that you have something that shoots straight and hits the bears pretty hard. So I got a new rifle that's chambered in .308. 308's the same as a military cartridge, and I've picked heavier bullets. I've picked 180 grain bullets. Again, never shot at a bear before, so I think a bigger bullet is gonna hit a bigger target harder. So we'll see how it all goes. Well, Mike, I had my first bear hunt, and it was quite an experience. And I know it got the heart racing a little bit there. But how'd I do?
You did awesome. You did everything you were supposed to do, and I actually got to give you big props. I mean, we had a cameraman there for you who got sick. You stepped up to bat and you filmed your own hunt. Very difficult to do with another guy in the stand with you, but to do it on your own, I give you props. You've done a great job.
When the bear started to come, I had the camera set up and
right.
Reached over and hit the record button, and the bear showed up right where you said it was going to, and circled around the bait a little bit and was real cautious. Right. And I was interested. It never seemed to look towards me. And now how did we get to that point? I'm thinking the bear's coming in. All he's going to be looking for is me, right? But,
well, you have to understand. We have multiple bait sites that we establish. The key is that we have no contact to that stand. We're going to come in, we're going to bait the site. It was the first time a hunter had sat in that stand. So there's never been any scent there or any reason for that bear to be alarmed over in that direction. You slipped in there, we slipped the cameraman in there. The bear had no idea. Now, he had been coming and feeding there for 2 weeks prior to you getting here, never was there a hunter in that stand to ever alarm him. So he's not going to look there unless you give him a reason. So.
Now he kind of circled around the bait site several times and was, kind of curious a little bit and went and I was really impressed that there was a metal cover on top of the bait and he pushed some of the rocks and logs away.
Right.
But then rather than keep pushing them all away and pushing the metal cover off, he just bent that cover up like a potato chip.
Yeah.
And
he knows what he wants, and he's going to use whatever means it is to get to it. As you've seen, they live by their stomach, and he knows what's in there, and he's going to get it. Nothing's going to stop him.
How do you judge, by the way, if it's a big bear, a small bear, whatever? I'm going through my mind. Is that a big bear? Is that a small bear? And then I watch them bend that metal cover of a freezer.
And that convinces you it's big enough.
Wow, that's a pretty strong bear. He can do that.
If he can bend metal, he's big enough. No, the average bear in here, United States, where we are, from here, Canada, Maine. 100 pounds, 150 pounds, 200 pounds, those are your average bears. Don't be fooled by, the advertisements and the shows. There are enormous bears out here. There's enormous bears in Pennsylvania, as we know. I think Pennsylvania has some of the largest bears in the world. Some great bears taken every year in Pennsylvania, same as here. Judging a bear is the most difficult animal in Canada and North America. It is the most difficult animal to judge in size in the field. There's no antlers to judge them by, so you can't Boone and Crockett or Pope and Young score them while they're standing on the hoof. But there are some key things you can look for. It's important to not get excited, not rush the shot, and judge your bear a little bit. We put indicators out there, and we tell our hunters, who are first timers most of the time, little things they can do to tell the size. You saw over the time that you've been here that a lot of our sites, we just use a 5-gallon buckets. Now you watch a lot of people in other shows, they just dump on the ground, hide under logs, the bait, or use a 55-gallon drum, which is another good indicator of bear size, and that's why they do it. But we use a 5-gallon bucket. We found that over the years that we'll feed multiple bears. Overnight. We bait every day. We don't go bait and then go back 2 weeks later, and we don't do that. We bait every day because we want to know how many animals are coming into the area. But a 5-gallon bucket, a good indication, and that's what we tell our clients, if that bear can't get his head down in that 5-gallon bucket, don't come back and tell us I didn't shoot because I didn't know.
That's a big bear. If he can't get his head in a 5-gallon bucket.
If he can't get his head in there, he's a shooter.
Something you told me was, now don't pass up on a bear that you take on the last day just because it's your first or second try. Give it a try.
Exactly. If it's something if the bear comes in, you've never hunted, and it doesn't matter to you. You want a nice bear. There's a couple things we like you to do, but yeah, don't pass a bear up, because you don't know the size or you might think it's too small. If you would be happy with it and you would take it on the last day, take it. Because you might not have an opportunity. We are in the wild. There's no guarantees. You may never see another bear. We have a couple hunters this week here. We got 2 hunters left, and we'll be 100% again this year on shot opportunity. But those 2 hunters, we're coming up on week's end, and they're probably thinking, should have taken that smaller bear. No. If it's something you're happy with, take it now, because tomorrow might not be there. But to judge the bear again, to get back to that. We give you a couple indicators with the bucket and stuff like that. If it comes in and it has to reach for the bucket, obviously it's not a big bear. It's a 5-gallon bucket. It stands 18 inches high. So if he doesn't come in and put his head on the bucket, if he's twice the size of the bucket, that's a good indicator. He's a little better than average bear. That's a good indicator. As far as the animal itself, if his belly's close to the ground and he waddles in, he's a big bear. Whether it be a sow and have some age to her in size, or whether it be a big boar. That's a big bear. If the belly is close to the ground and he's waddling, it's a big bear. Look for the big bear crease. Male bears have a muscle structure on their heads that when they reach maturity, there will be a perfect V down the center of their head. Their ears will look small and out of proportion to their head. It'll look like they just have nubs. That's a huge bear. You can't be fooled by that. That's a huge bear. You can't use the muzzle. Some people say, oh, if it's got a short muzzle, it's probably a broad, big muzzle, and That's why it's short, the head's big, but that's not a good indicator because females typically have a shorter muzzle. Females, we don't want any of our females shot. They're hard to judge and females get taken, but they're the next generation. We want to take male bears to control the population. We don't want to rush the shot. We tell all our hunters, we have a little briefing with our hunters and stuff prior to their hunt. Wait until the animal comes in, because oftentimes the sow will come in first and she's got cubs. If you wait and give that sow a little bit of time, those cubs will come in. It's not always, I've heard outfitters tell people at shows and stuff, oh, the cubs will run right in first. And you'll know, well, it's a sow then. That's not the case. Unfortunately, we have had sows taken, and you know, you can't lie about that. It's if a sow's taken and she's got cubs, nobody wants that. The hunter doesn't want it, we don't want it, but just wait. I mean, if you have to pass up a sow that's got cubs and you don't get a bear, you've done a good thing. You know, you don't need to do that.
So the bear that did come in for me, I watched it for several minutes. I think I have to look back at the video, but I think it was 7 or 8 minutes, and finally presented me a good shot. And I remember what you told me. Aim behind the shoulder and mid body, and I think I got him right there. And
you couldn't have got a more perfect shot.
Boom, went right down, and took off and running. I'm like, uh-oh, that bear took off running.
They are a very strong animal. They're going, you know, you can put them right down or they can go. And the bear you shot is indicative of the bear that you're going to get. That is, it's a good specimen. It's the average bear. The coat was fine. I mean, it was a beautiful bear, but that's the average size. I mean, it was not a small bear by any means, and it was not an enormous bear, but that's what the customer's going to get typically is that size bear. But your shot, you couldn't have made it any better.
So he ran out of the frame and he started to run up a little bit of a hill, and I'm getting another shelling rather than swing the camera right away. Right. And he got partway up the hill and just kind of tumbled back down. And then he started like a moaning and groaning kind of a thing. What's up with that?
It's what's referred to as the death moan. It's that bear's last breath. They do that when they're lung shot. It's not to be graphic or grotesque, but if a hunter hears that death moan, because the animal has disappeared in the brush or whatever, if he hears that death moan, it's a good feeling. The animal has expired very quickly, and you know that although that's the last breath of that animal, you know that that animal is done, where it's at, and that it was quick. And your bear died very quick, had no idea what happened to it, and again, it expired quickly because of a well-placed shot.
Well, I appreciate the coaching, and it worked out well, and so thanks.
Oh,
thanks.
Congratulations. I'm glad you got it.
Joining us now is Bobby Turbin. Bobby, you're from Wattsburg area?
Yeah.
How'd you get here in Canada to get a bear hunt going?
Actually, my friends Ed and his brother Mike, who's the guide, they asked me to come up with them.
So what was it like, your first time here?
It was great. I came up, sat in the stand for a couple days, kind of got a little nervous because I wasn't seeing anything, but then I seen that bear walking in, and I'm like, whew, this is awesome.
Now, was it kind of like that whitetail fever that you hear about, you know, to get your heart going pretty good there?
Yeah, I mean, I've got the buck fever a couple times, but never like with the bear. With the bear, I'm real shaky. I mean, it was really awesome.
Now, I was your cameraman. I was right there with you, and we were close. That bear was only, what, 15, something like that, yards away?
Yeah, it was really close, probably about, like you said, 10, 15 yards. It was awesome.
Well, now, what equipment do you use? Now, I thought that was pretty interesting, going for bear with archery here.
Yeah, I use a Hoyt Katera, and I use, these are the Lost Camo, what are they even called? Hunter Pro carbon arrows that I got from Dave's Archery with my Hoyt Katera.
So the carbon fiber, that means they're strong and they're light, right?
These are the strongest arrows I have ever shot. I mean, I have literally had a 150-pound deer fall over on this arrow, and when I found it, it was propped over on it. Okay. And it didn't break. Every other arrow I'd ever shot had snapped when the deer fell on it.
Now let me ask you to show the broadhead that's on that arrow, because I thought that was pretty interesting.
I actually used two different kinds. The kind that I killed the bear with is actually my favorite. This is the one I actually killed the bear with. This comes out, and it's called a Rage. It comes out, it has a 2-inch cutting diameter. I should probably show the other one, because that one has the broken tip on it.
And that broke off in the bear? Is that what happened there?
Yeah. See, they look like this, but when they spread out,
When this part
they hit this,
hits the soft tissue,
and they spread out, and
these wings come out.
yeah.
And so even though that's pretty small, it's going to make a pretty big wound in the bear, right?
Yeah, when they hit, they spread out, they open up like, if I can get that one there.
There we go.
Spread out and open all the way up to 2-inch cutting diameter.
You can get a good view of that.
Yeah, they're really nice.
So you're making a hole in that bear that wide.
Yeah.
That's going to create a lot of bleeding and.
Oh yeah, it opened up that bear great when I got up to it, because it didn't start bleeding for probably, 20 yards? And when it did, I mean, there was a nice blood trail, and then when we found it, there was a lot of blood. I mean, it did some major damage.
Now talk about how you aimed your shot.
Well, the shot that I really would have liked to shot, Mike did a great job setting it up. He knew exactly where that bear was going to walk. He set it up with, I think it was called Java Juice, and he waited for the bear, or he made the bear come in and go around the bucket and come back. Well, when it come up, it was propped up like this, just looking. And that's what I really wanted to shoot. But I waited because I knew that if I would have shot right when I wanted to, it was going to step and I was going to miss the shot. So I waited until it walked back around and it was at an angle, and I had a pretty good shot. And I got it right behind the shoulder, and it was a long shot. It was a great shot.
So when you compare this bear hunt to maybe some deer hunts and things you've had in the past, what's this going to go like in where's it going to line up in your favorite memories?
In my favorite memories, it's probably going to be my second favorite to my first deer hunt. Yeah, it's definitely going to be my second.
Well, you'll have some video of it, so that'll be a good thing.
Yeah, the video is awesome.
Well, congratulations. You did a great job with that.
Thanks.
It was great to meet you.
Nice meeting you too.
Nancy and Steve, you had a wonderful place here. Thank you for everything here. Tell us about how'd you get involved? How'd this come to be your business?
Oh, we started about 12 years ago, and
You bought it from Benoit Dubé, was the previous owner, friend of theirs. He's from Moffett as well. He was wanting to get out of the business. He was moving. He approached Steve and Nancy, and it was something that Steve has done all his life. So they thought, well,
yeah, that was good for us
yes.
to do something like this. Yeah.
What all services, what all things can I do when I'm here? We had a chance to go fishing. I know that's
Fishing, you can
a big part of
go
it.
bear hunt, and
Relaxing.
relax.
relaxing. That's the key.
Go, yeah.
Now, in a different time of year, other kind of hunts you can do? Moose hunt in the fall? Is that?
No, we can do a moose hunt because no, you have to
you have to have a certain territory.
Special,
yeah,
okay.
special. Yeah.
Yeah, it used to offer the moose hunts, but now the moose hunt territory here is all pretty much privately owned. So.
Yep.
So for fishing, what kind of fish might I find here?
You will have walleye, pike, perch.
Perch, muskie,
Yeah, and bass.
and the sturgeon. However, they're more
Yeah,
elusive than the bear.
Okay. You have boats, and folks can use the boats to go
Yeah,
fishing?
you have the boats to go fishing. Yeah. 16 feet with 20 hours motor.
20 or 25.
20,
or-
yeah.
Yep.
Now, where Mike and I are from in Crawford County, we have a lot of lakes around. It's like every place here is lake, and the lakes are huge. The lakes are huge here compared to the ones back home.
Yeah.
How big is this lake?
How big?
I don't know.
It's
Very big,
it's
isn't it?
actually on this lake. This is Lake the King. It's a reservoir, and it's flowing. It's coming out of Lake Samard, which is a very big lake that's adjacent to it, and it flows into it. It's actually moving water. So if you can imagine a lake that's moving, but it is a reservoir, and they have a hydro dam at the end of it. But if I were to guess, I mean, without looking at a map, I don't think I ever have, but if I were to guess, it's probably 30 miles?
Miles?
The King?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
very easy,
very-
30
yeah.
miles long.
So
Yeah.
it's bigger than even Pymatuning, and that, I mean, it's
Yes,
bigger than the
yes,
biggest
yes,
lake in
yes,
Pennsylvania.
yes. We
So-
have just behind us here, there's a little a stream. I think you went back by boat today. There's a little stream off of it, and it opens up into another lake. and it's larger than Pymatuming. So yeah, in relation to what we have at home, it's just this lake alone is enormous.
Well, it's a glorious place, and I loved coming here, and was thrilled to get a chance to hunt bear for the first time in my life. So that was great. So thank you, Steve. Appreciate your help and your skinning of the bear. Nancy, it was great to meet you, and to your hospitality here has been wonderful.
Okay, thanks.
Well, we certainly thank you all, and Mike especially, and we're going to talk to you about that bear, how we're going to get that thing mounted. So we'll talk about that later.
You got a great specimen. It'll be easy to work with.
But also we want to say thanks to the folks at home for joining us on Crawford County Outdoors, and we'll talk to you next time.
We'd like to thank Crawford County Outdoors as well, and especially Armstrong Cable.
Yep.
Wonderful. Well, thanks everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you.